And he raised a pole, attached a small flag at the tip of the pole, and rested. The person who told me this was Kumak, brother of the Booths, across from Kotzebue at Sisolik. Maniilaq raised his pole. Kumak followed some older boys and peeked into Maniilaq's tent. They saw him lying and resting. He did not do anything on that seventh day. So when Kumak said that Maniilaq was resting on the seventh day, that is what Maniilaq did.
He told people about a day of rest. He said, "This is the day I rest." On that day, he rested. He did not do any chores. It was like a Sunday. He stayed put on this certain day.
He mentioned there'll be a seventh day resting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He put his fingers out like this and it makes 7. On the seventh day, you have to be still and no work. On the seventh day, you can work on the 6 days, but on seventh day you're not going to work. That rule is coming soon. Everybody will be resting on seventh day pretty soon. All these years and years will be coming and going, but there'll be 7 day resting and no work. He always put his pole up on the 7th day and let people knows that it's the 7th day. Everybody have to rest on that day. Whenever they see Maniilaq's pole, that means he remind them this is a holy day maybe, and they don't have to work that day.
I always say it sometimes about that Sabbath day to keep it holy. Because God's commandments telling us to keep it holy. And he called me, "Mom, how come we always go to church at Sunday? I think Sabbath is the right way." He telling me he understand a boy. He understand it.
That right there was a day of rest. Obviously he had no more religion than what the people knew about, and that's what he was trying to tell the people. That's the reason when I studied this right here, was that he was an individual from our own people trying to tell our own people that that religion was important in our lives, and if we have that would help us to be stronger people. Now when he was gone, then we had the Western religion when it came in. Then we did have the religion in the native sense, because we were close to nature. But one of the things that we don't have was that we didn't have the story of Jesus. See, that's the part that we didn't have, and that we began to start understanding, yeah, there was a God, there was a power, there was a source, and here was his son that had been sacrificed to us and given to us for redeeming the people, and so here it was. So when the missionary and the religion came in, those people were very, very religious people. They were strong, and I'll say any church that came up during that time, I don't care what kind of church it was, could have been the predominant church. And the church that came up here to our region during that time was the Quakers, or what's called a French church. But those people, grabbed onto it, and they were absorbing every story, everything, and they lived according to how the church set that thing up.
When Maniilaq was ridiculed for his strange ideas and practices, he said that his grandfather above was more powerful than everything else and deserved the highest respect and obedience. He said, "Unless I am directed by the one above, who was dressed in white and whose aides are also dressed in white, I do not speak." Although the grandfather above did not demonstrate his greatness now, he explained, the time would come when his glorious power would be seen.
And people, when they ever visit, who told you, from where you got these words? From where did you get the idea of saying these things? And he said, Abba, Abba. He said, Abba. Abba is up there. He's a human being. Abba, but they call him Abba. Because that Abba told him to say these things. He listening to up there what he have to say. And he give Maniilaq words to say these things.
Most of Maniilaq's predictions have now come to pass. The lives of his people have been changed by the knowledge of the Father above. The power of the Inutkut has been broken. The bondage of superstition, fear, and cruelty is gone. The coming of white-skinned people, fire-powered kayaks in the water and in the sky, fire inside to warm the houses, thin birch bark upon which to write, the ability to talk and hear over long distances, light coming in the form of the Bible, have all happened as Maniilaq predicted. But Maniilaq's last predictions have not yet come to pass. Those who have known his story look for the fulfillment of these things in the future. Maniilaq predicted a discovery where the town of Ambler is located, the discovery of something greatly valued by the white-skinned people. Then Ambler would become densely populated, with people living on both sides of the river. After this, a whale will appear at the mouth of the Redstone River. How this can be, no one knows, because the river is far inland, but many believe it will happen.
We hear about Ambler going to be a big city sometimes later on. That's what our Maniilaq say. You know, in that across from Ambler, that point, that was a deep, deep water. One time they tried to measure it how deep are, but it never landed there on the ground. And he said that big whale, black whale, will come up. I don't know when it's going to come up from in there, in that deep place.
After this village will be a big city. Way back to the mountains, the lights will be. And after it's set, that point will drop, and after drop, the whale will come up. And after that, he can't see the future from there.
These were the last signs: a whale, 2 consecutive seasons with snow to the tops of the spruce trees, flood, famine and hardship, the end of all things. Maniilaq himself did not seem to know what it all meant. He was filled with great sadness. The future after this seemed dangerous and difficult.